A suspected ICBM from North Korea is launched into Japan and lands just a few miles from Hokkaido. North Korea has crossed its border again as it may have launched another ballistic missile towards the island nation of Japan. The latest launch came after a series of successful missile tests over the past year, but tensions in the region remain high. Tony Spitz, a viewer, provides details. North Korea tested its first intercontinental ballistic missile in 3 months on Wednesday, the day after it threatened a U.S. tracked attack on its territory with disappointing results. Some experts say that North Korea may have launched the land-portable Hwasong-18 intercontinental ballistic missile it is developing. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un previously called the Hwasong-18 the most powerful weapon in its nuclear arsenal. The missile was launched from the regional capital of North Korea at around 10 a.m. at a maximum altitude of 6,000 miles, 3,730 kilometers, and traveled approximately 1,000 miles, 620 kilometers, for South Korea and Japan, respectively, before landing. Medium water. Japan rating. They said the missile was fired from a high angle, and observers said it was an attempt to evade neighboring countries. Japanese Foreign Minister Hirokazu Matsuno said the missile flew for 74 minutes, the longest recorded flight time for a missile launched by North Korea. The previous record was 71 minutes, broken last year during the test flight of the liquid-fueled Hwasong-17 intercontinental ballistic missile. The South Korean military described it as a grave crime and asked North Korea to stop making any further announcements. Matsuno condemned North Korea's repeated missile launches as a threat to the peace and security of Japan, the region, and the international community. High-ranking nuclear ambassadors of South Korea, Japan, and the United States in our call. According to Seoul's headquarters abroad, the United States has agreed to counter North Korean aggression and strengthen cooperation to facilitate a stronger international response to North Korea's nuclear and missile programs. The launch occurred while South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida were attending the NATO meeting in Vilnius, Lithuania. At an emergency meeting of the South Korean Security Council convened via video conference from Lithuania, Yoon warned that North Korea would face severe international penalties for making blade weapons illegal. While North Korea's ICBM program is targeting the United States, its short-range missiles are designed to attack the United States. America's regional allies, such as South Korea and Japan. North Korea has conducted several anti-epidemic tests since 2017, but some experts say the North still has some technology to master before it has the A missile capable of reaching a major American city. North Korea's ICBM test in April was the first of the Hwasong-18. Following the launch, Kim Jong-un said the missile would enhance North Korea's counter-terrorism capabilities and expand North Korea's arsenal to deal with great anxiety and fear against its rivals. On-board solid propellant missiles are easy to transport and store, making it difficult for attackers to intercept them first. All previous ICBM tests of North Korea used liquid fuel. Kim Dong-yub, a professor at the University of Korean Studies in Seoul, said Wednesday's announcement appears to be the second test of North Korea's Hwasong-18. Earlier this week, North Korea issued a statement accusing the United States of keeping a military plane close to its territory. Kim Jong-un's sister and senior advisor, Kim Yo-jang, warned late on Monday that this is a dangerous situation, he has demanded. Earlier today, a spy plane flew 8 times over North Korea's Eastern Special Economic Zone. The United States and South Korea denied North Korea's accusations and asked North Korea not to act aggressively or use bad language. "I want to say that we continue to push North Korea not to escalate tensions," said U.S. spokesman Matthew Miller. The U.S. State Department said on Tuesday. North Korea's recent statement by the United States that flights over the EEZ are illegal, as required by international law, because freedom of movement and the high seas apply to these areas. North Korea has made many similar accusations over U.S. surveillance, but its most recent announcement comes from extreme hostility towards the weapons tests North Korea has been conducting since last year. Some observers say North Korea hopes to use its expanding arsenal to push for more agreement with the enemy in final diplomacy. Professor Leif-Erik Easley of UA University in Seoul said U.S. drones are part of a pattern in which North Korea presents external threats to gain internal support and justify weapons tests. Professor Kim Dong-yub said on Wednesday that the announcement would follow, not a direct response to the NATO meeting or name of North Korea's weapons development plan to make Hwasong-18 technology in the past. United States. Spy plane is flying. Hwasong-18 is one of the advanced nuclear weapons that Kim Jong-un promised to bring in response to what he said was a U.S. military threat. Other weapons on its list include multi-headed intercontinental ballistic missiles, spy satellites, and nuclear-powered submarines. In late May, North Korea failed to launch its first spy satellite. A rocket carrying it crashed into the ocean shortly after launch. Some experts say North Korea will likely hold a weapons test around July 27, the 70th anniversary of the battle that ended the 1950-53 Korean War. North Korea calls this day Victory Day or War Victory Day. After the failure of the first spy satellite launch in May, it looks like Pyongyang will put pressure on promoting internal unity before Victory Day, before voicing threats and harsh language against America to prove future provocations, said Dooyeon Kim, a senior researcher at the New American National Security Institute. The UN Security Council has decided to stop North Korea's ballistic missile launch. However, China and Russia, permanent members of the Security Council, blocked the U.S. The United States and other countries have sought to tighten UN sanctions due to North Korea's recent missile tests. North Korea returned to normal on Wednesday after nearly a month of missile testing, and Prime Minister Fumio Kishida launched what Japan apparently said was an ICBM-class weapon as it prepared to face the South Korean leader Yoon Hee-yeol on the right at the NATO meeting. Japan's Ministry of Defense said the missile launched at around 9:59 a.m. from inside North Korea, flew nearly 1,000 miles for 74 minutes, and landed about 250 kilometers west of the island of Okushiri in Hokkaido, in Japan's Overseas Special Economic Zone. Region, MEB. 200 nautical miles, 370 kilometers, from the coast. South Korea's Ministry of Defense said the 74-minute flight time is the longest for a North Korean missile, and the weapon is believed to be launched on the highest ballistic trajectory, with a maximum range of about 6,000 kilometers on it. This is higher than the International Space Station's average orbital altitude of 400 kilometers.